we would love it if you could just get into that giant box. Get into the box and you'll go back to Barbie Land and everything will be as it was.
I haven't been in a box in ages.
See? It's easy.
But Adam is made first. Here's the first thing. Adam's made first, and there's New Testament support for this, that this isn't just a fact that Adam is made first, but that this has implications for Adam's authority over Eve. 1 Timothy 2:12, and I go over it in detail in the video. I'm just going to summarize it here. I don't permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, right? It's a creational difference that relates to the authority differences between men and women. That's a pretty big deal.
Hi everyone, this is Becca with Faith Exposed, and this is the glass of wine I'm going to need in order to get through some clips of Mike Winger's video on everything women can and can't do according to the Bible. So basically, according to Iron Age men who lived 2,000 years ago, that apparently we're going to allow to run our lives today. And when I say written by Iron Age men, I do mean all men. Not a single female perspective was included in the Bible. Even the book of Esther was written by her male cousin. Let's hear about what some Christian men think that women are allowed to do and who they're allowed to be and who's in charge. Play the clip.
Eve is made for Adam, whereas Adam is not made for Eve. For man was not made from woman, but woman from man. And this is about the authority difference between male, female, especially in marriage in particular.
Paul says the darndest things, doesn't he? So Mike is careful to establish that there is a hierarchy and men and women don't appear on the same level. Men and then women. Do you get the picture yet that women are only relevant in relation to men and not due to their own inherent agency? Now with that, let's play the clip.
Elders' positions and functions are for men only.
All right, no girls allowed. Only men can perform these duties. So I do sense that he's trying to be a little bit discreet about what elders' functions means. And basically, from growing up in the church, I've come to realize that elders' functions is just anything above secretarial duties. Women are allowed to cook, watch the kids, and perform tedious secretarial work, but they're not to be trusted with actual power or with making just guiding decisions about which way the church is going to go. Women, however, are expected to contribute the same amount of their time and their money and portion of their lives to the church, but women just don't get representation when it comes to decision making. I don't hesitate to share my opinion on these matters because I really don't find religious belief to be a valid reason to oppress other groups of people. And I have a daughter who will undoubtedly have valuable insights that are worthy of being shared, even if they contradict with a man in her life. And I'm never going to tell her that her freedom to express herself is restricted by some text that was found written 2,000 years ago. And with this setup, women don't get to make their own decisions about their own lives. We don't get to live our own desires. We don't have control over the story of our lives. We're always going to be the supporting actor in a movie about men. I'm just so happy that I fought my way out of this and I've been able to reclaim my life. I have to wonder how Mike would feel if he was told this about his own self and his mind. But I suppose he imagines that it's so much different for a female, but it's not. It's the same. It's depressing and oppressive, and it's not right.
Women could prophesy, but they had to do so with head coverings to support male headship. That is, that man's role in the marriage.
So this is really disturbing to me. Not only do they have to really hammer home the idea that men are in charge of their lives, women come second in their hierarchy, but they even need a visible display of a head covering for when a woman's talking, so that it's acknowledged that I'm speaking, but only in submission to my husband.
But there's a clear command in Scripture for wives to submit to their husbands, so there's obviously not egalitarianism.
This is a neat little bonus point that Mike is making it very clear that the Bible and Christianity does not support egalitarianism. Egalitarianism. Oh God, that's tough after mine. What is egalitarianism again? The official definition is the doctrine that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. So this is a clear admission that the Bible does not uphold the idea that all people are equal. I won't play the whole discussion here, it is a 4-hour video, but in this pillar 3 he goes on to talk about how men and women are both created in the image of God, and that's supposed to bring back some level of dignity to the females. But he is careful to specify that men are the tiebreakers when it comes to any contradiction or conflict in opinions. So he specifically says men have 51% of the power when it comes to decision making. But really, is there any difference between 51% decision making power and 100%? There's none. There's no difference. Whether a woman has 51% power or 100% power, she's only going to get her way if and when she agrees with her husband. She might as well not even have her own mind. Like, why would God even bother creating women with minds if our opinions can always be overridden by the nearest man? He goes on to say how the Bible specifies that women do have dominion over animals. So in their imagined hierarchy, there's men, women, and then animals. And it's supposed to be some humanitarian, redeeming thing that women are above animals. All right, play the clip.
Both Adam and Eve were created in God's image, equal before God as persons and distinct in their manhood and womanhood.
And regarding the topic of men and women both being created in the image of God, I'm not quite sure what benefit there is for all still considered totally depraved and born into original sin. Plus, when you look at the original Hebrew of the verse, it seems almost certainly a mistranslation to say that what was meant is that both male and female are made in the image of God. This has been greatly discussed, and the consensus is that that's not what the original text intended to say. All right, let's hear what Right Response Ministries has to say on this topic.
But preaching must also be likened to William Wallace riding with his sword down the front line, rallying the troops for war. A woman should not do this because indeed she cannot. A woman should not preach because she cannot preach.
All right, so this guy, I also sense that he's trying to dissociate himself from the opinion by looking down at his phone and acting as if he's reading somebody else's opinion, but he is the one who wrote what he's reading from his phone. I wonder if he senses some of the asinineness of these thoughts. All right, so he seems very convinced that women cannot teach. He must be taking this completely based on faith, because I've seen many women teach. So in reality, the truth is that research consistently demonstrates that there is no significant difference in ability or intelligence between male and female. But some tests do show small difference, and when that happens, women actually come out performing better on any area related to speech, and even fluid intelligence, which is processing speed. So here's a quote from Wikipedia on the topic. Most tests show no sex difference. There are some that have found that female subjects tend to perform better on tests of verbal abilities and processing speed, while males tend to perform better on tests of visual spatial ability and crystallized intelligence, which is basically retained knowledge. But for verbal fluency, females have been specifically found to perform slightly better on average in vocabulary and reading comprehension, and significantly higher in speech production and essay writing. So with this in mind, is it really the best idea to silence females and prevent them from preaching? So let's consider briefly what would happen if we really do take these messages to heart. What impact is there on women and girls to be told these messages that they appear below men on the hierarchy, and our thoughts aren't as valuable, and that we can't preach, we can't speak to men We can't speak in front of men. Being denied opportunities based on gender can lead to significant psychosocial effects such as feelings of inferiority, low self-esteem, and depression. And I have to ask, why even make excuses for this? Why do we keep standing up for these men from 2,000 years ago? If what they say does not seem true and seems immoral to us now, then why do we yield to them? Why not let goodness and common sense take over? The Bible isn't giving us much reason to think that it has higher wisdom or morality than any other religious text out there, because the fallible bias of males is strongly evident, and many are trying to put women back into a box and tethered to the same level of morality and ideas of who women are as the Iron Age men. Christian fundamentalists are trying to put women back in the box where they're no longer considered to exist for the purpose of their own agency and are not supposed to speak freely among men and are certainly not given the ability to make high-level decisions or lead men. And in the battlefield of ideas, this one has got to be fought. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in my next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
You know what? Before I get in the box, could I just run to the restroom and make sure my hair is perfect?
Fine. Can you be speedy about it?
Done this way?
It's just down the hallway.
Thank you.
On the right.